Bill Maher had Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony Hinchcliffe was the guy who was at the Madison Square Garden rally, right?
Puerto Rico is a shithole guy, yeah.
Oh,
And,
wow. The Bund rally 2.0.
He was the one who lamented, like, there's, not free speech, and he wasn't able to say this stuff. And now, of course, his career actually took off after that. He's been doing some show. I can't remember. It's like a gong show type of thing for a long
Kill
time.
Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it travels. People can go up and, try to roast the comics that are there.
And here is Bill Maher still stinging from the rebuke that Larry David wrote in the New York Times. This is like 3 weeks later. He's still stinging because he was so embarrassed. And, listen, having come from that world and knowing a lot of people who were funnier than I, there is a tendency where you feel insecure.
Yeah.
Now, I would imagine, for me, it was like, okay, well, there's other stuff I do, and, I was directing and writing, and so, I didn't have to, do a direct comparison type of thing. But if your show takes off, and you've been doing this for 30 years, like Bill Maher has, and you get shown up by someone is funnier than you and more talented and also correct.
And also on the network that your show is on, too, HBO.
It eats at you, I think. And you start saying stupid things. Now, we played a clip of Bill Maher 3 weeks ago, I think it was, saying it was gross of Larry David to compare Donald Trump to Hitler. And obviously it was a piece of satire. He didn't say directly this is Donald Trump. He just wrote a piece about him going to dinner with Hitler. And it was in response, although it wasn't explicitly stated, it was clearly in response to Bill Maher going on a show going like, I had dinner with Donald Trump. He wasn't a nice guy. It wasn't anything like people said.
Bill Maher said it was, quote, kind of insulting to 6 million dead Jews. He said that to Larry David.
Now, the problem with that is
about Larry David, sorry.
That Bill Maher had equated Trump's kids to Nazis in the past. He also yelled at Geraldo Rivera in an interview like 3 or 4 years ago for saying that Trump is a nice guy when you have dinner. Nobody cares. It's all about what he does. The guy's like a Nazi. And so you would think that Bill Maher at one point would realize oh, wow, this is out there. This is embarrassing. But no, he's still in on it, but he needs to find somebody more sympathetic to talk about it with. Bill Maher could certainly have this conversation with somebody who might push back.
I need a cool guy.
Or he could have the conversation with somebody who is obviously very supportive of Donald Trump. Now, maybe not somebody who would be terribly sensitive about the Holocaust, seeing as how he went up there and said all sorts of horrible stuff in front of 10,000 people in Madison Square Garden. But here it is.
Larry David said, I'm a Nazi.
They did?
Well, he said I had dinner with Hitler.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Pause it. Incidentally, Larry David did not say that you were a Nazi. He said not that you had dinner with Hitler. He made a satirical comparison to how much you licked Donald Trump's boots. In the same way that, if an imaginary person went and licked boots based upon how pleasant they were at dinner.
He satirized your frivolity.
Is exaggeration and hyperbole sometimes something that is used in satire? As somebody who used to write comedy?
Emma, you wouldn't understand.
Okay.
It's Larry David just calling everyone who disagrees with him a Nazi.
Comedy is legal again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and by the way, and I think literally when we say we do it to themselves, how dare anyone call Trump Hitler? That is such an insult to the Jewish people.
That's exactly what I said when I did an interview about it.
Oh, pause it. I'm sorry. Do you think that Tony Hinchcliffe did not see that interview? Like, I don't know if Hinchcliffe is actually making fun of Bill Maher here, or
I can't
it's
believe
just
that
like
wasn't a joke itself.
like a licking, like it's like an Escher a lithograph of people licking each other's boots, going around in a circle. Go ahead.
Such an insult to the Jewish people.
That's exactly what I said when I did an interview about it. That it's like, among other things, first of all, as soon as you play the Hitler card, you've kind of lost the argument, unless you're really dealing with Hitler.
Hinchcliffe has got to be
we're not.
tooling on him.
But agreed. Like, it is quite insulting to the ones that Hitler. I mean, Hitler. I keep calling him the goat of evil. He's the goat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can't. Don't try to. You know, don't enter that conversation like who was better than Michael Jordan. Okay, it's Hitler.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hitler's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Of evil.
Yeah.
All right.
Pause it for a second. Now, you know what? What's interesting is that Bill Maher is making an analogy. Now, do people think that Michael Jordan was so good at basketball that he was as evil as Hitler was evil? Or is that an analogy? Or like a sort of a funny analogy? Like almost like a satire? Like you would use this as an example to explicate something.
But he used it in the same sentence. I can't differentiate
That's great.
between the two things. He's basically calling Michael Jordan Hitler. There's no other explanation.
But the Michael Jordan metaphor is good because actually LeBron James came along and he's, you know, look, I love Mike. LeBron's probably a better player than MJ. But this whole thing of you can't compare or even like sort of compare anything to Hitler, that makes the phrase "never again" to like, oh, it can never happen again because Hitler was so supernaturally evil that we don't even need to worry about it anymore.
Right, of course.
Right. Also, is Hinchcliffe Jewish? Because I can't find any evidence of that on the internet, but it seems like he's very comfortable speaking for what's offensive to Jews and what
That's
isn't.
why it seems like he's joking.
It
like,
does
it's so
seem like
weird.
he's like joking, like he's like new. There's no way that Hinchcliffe did not know that Bill Maher had said that. That was all over the place.
You're giving this guy too much credit.
No, I'm sorry. He knows. And he just said it. I don't know if he said it just to kiss his ass or if he actually said it like half mocking how weak Bill Maher was.
Because let me take it
about
back. Listen to how much he sputters trying to figure out how he's going to answer Bill when he brings it up here.
He did?
Well, he said I had dinner with Hitler.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, and by the way, and I think literally when we say we do it to themselves, how dare anyone call Trump Hitler? That is such an insult to the Jewish people.
That's exactly what I said when I did an interview about it. That it's like, among other things.
It's like
First
the way
of all,
I
when
would
you
talk to people, like when my mom was in an institution, that's how you would talk to people. Like, can you believe it?
That nurse was so rude.
Oh my gosh.
Eat your pills.
among other things.
Such an insult to the Jewish people.
That's exactly what I said when I did an interview about it. That it's like, among other things. First of all, as soon as you play the Hitler card, you've kind of lost the argument, unless you're really dealing with Hitler, which, yes, we're not. But agreed. Like, it is quite insulting to the ones that Hitler. I mean, Hitler. I keep calling him the goat of evil. He's the goat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can't.
Definitely.
Don't try to. You know.
Definitely
Don't
the
enter
goat
that
of
conversation like who was better than Michael Jordan. Okay, it's Hitler. All right.
Yeah.
Hitler's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Of evil.
Yeah.
All right. LeBron's great. It's different.
Yeah.
6 rings.
Yeah.
6 million people dead.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just like.
Well, wait a
stop it.
second. That's almost like an offensive joke.
Yeah.
6 rings is like 6 million people
I
dead.
think a lot less thoughtful than anything Larry David
That
did.
seems to be very.
You're comparing every Chicago Bulls championship to 1 million
That is
Jews dead?
sort of a little bit callous. I mean, that is a pretty rude statement to make. I just love how much this is still bothering Bill Maher, and that Hinchcliffe was clearly fed back Bill Maher's words to him.
It's like when ChatGPT knows exactly what answer you're looking for.
Exactly. That was a great question. That was very insightful. That's a very insightful question that you just asked. Oh my God.
6 rings, 6 million after saying it's insulting. Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
And you know he planned that out because, I mean, I didn't have that off the top of my head. 6
No,
rings.
he may have come up with that on the top of his head, but the point is,
Still got
is that
it.
really what is offensive to Bill Maher is Bill Maher being
Yes.
mocked. That's what's genuinely offensive. That's what's like the Holocaust. Is mocking Bill Maher is just like the Holocaust. And you'll notice I did not have to go to the Hitler place. I just talked about the Holocaust.
Right.
The Hitler card. Yep. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fenton Muley's distant father. As a bisexual man who was in the closet for a huge part of my life, my gaydar goes off so much with Hinchcliffe and Maher. I know I'm not the only one. Interesting.
I've heard that about Tom.
Just another guy. In terms of GOAT status, Michael Jordan is Hitler, but LeBron, he's Mussolini. Maybe Pol Pot at best. Milo, one of the only positives about this era is that everything is so out in the open. The hypocrisy, the grift, the bribery, the influence, the peddling, the endless lies, the ethnic cleansing, all out in the open. 100 years from now, historians will be out of a job.
Well, hope we're still writing history then.
Biscatil. I grew up in evangelical world and had many Passover Seders, and they were held to show a Zionistic approach for Christian end times beliefs. Wow. Well, Hitler. Jesus. Wait a minute, listen, honestly. Jesus is the Hitler of
good.
being a Messiah. Right? I mean, come on.
Of the Son of God, yeah. He's a Hitler at being the Son of God.
He's the Hitler of being a Messiah.
Don't compare anyone to him, is what I mean by
Yeah,
that.
that's what I mean. He's the most Messiah of all the Messiahs out there. That's what I'm just saying. He's like the GOAT. Like Michael Jordan of Messiahs.
And Muhammad came after, so he's the LeBron of deities, right?
Right.
Bill Russell's the Moses.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm so offended.
The Last Supper was a Passover Seder. Did you know? You knew that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were still riffing or if you.
I was waiting for.
It was the GOAT. Me too.
I was too busy being
It's like
offended.
the post-game press conference.
On behalf of all Jews, I'm very offended.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.